I had a pretty good uh, concept or definition of darkness, um, but I just discovered that darkness is apparently one of those concepts that um, will have many definitions, seemingly, arbitrarily many. Other ones being like the Christ and the Leviathan, um, the pattern. Um, so I'm just rolling with it. But I got a new one, and it's pretty exciting. It's really cool. It started with me trying to compare the. Uh, okay, so with the understanding that I have, that I recently came to, that, excuse me, um, that the the this the material or substance, the stuff that I call void or nothingness, um, I really could just be calling substance because I identified that it's the same uh, thing as just the neutral substance out of which everything's created, except it's not matter because it lacks the Christ charge. Um, so therefore, it's a type of mass that's not matter. Um, Maybe it's dark matter or energy or something. Um, but so yeah, so I was thinking, you know, ordinary proper matter has Christ charge. Maybe this void, this nothingness, has a darkness charge. Instead of being imbued with light, maybe it's imbued with darkness. And I'm not sure whether that's true or false yet, but um, I have learned. So um, basically, uh, the the flow of the Christ runs through our spirits, our metaphysical bodies, if you will, through the nervous system, and that is the normal state of things, happening 24/7. Some uh, probably low, usually low level of current flowing through that in the Christward direction. Um, and a consequence of that flow is the creation of a magnetic field, because anytime there's moving charge, it creates a magnetic field around it. Like if it's a wire, it's like um, a loop, a circle around, perpendicular to the wire, the length of the wire. So in the direction that this flow is taking place, uh, it it brings it creates a particular magnetic field that well, okay, I'm gonna get lost here. I have to remember this is just for me, just to get this out of me, and I'm gonna post it, but I'm not gonna publicize it. Um, a few people watch it someday, it'll be fine. Um, so yeah, basically, what happens is that the um, they're kind of like like raggedy. I keep wanting to say tethers, but it's not tethers. I'm I'm thinking of like little like cloth flags, like many covering a surface, like a kind of like another word I can't think of. like a shag carpet, or a ghillie suit. Something. There are lots of these little flaps and flags, and with the magnetic current, I mean, uh, the magnetic field, they take on a magnetic charge that is opposite that of the monad, so that they're attracted to it. So the monad is a concept I don't bring up much, but it's really important, especially in the electromagnetic metaphor, which really is my strongest metaphor, and I need to focus in more specifically on it. But um, I'm doing okay. So the monad is God, or what you might call source. It's the one place at the bottom of everything, at the beginning of time. The creator, the thing from which things came. But I don't think of it very often because um, it just, that view of God doesn't really, um, it doesn't play a big role in my life. Um, I have other ideas of God. Um, so anyway, the monad is an enormous magnetic monopole, which is a theoretical. There's no reason that there shouldn't be them, but there aren't. They aren't. It's like predicted by physics, but not never observed. So anyway, um, the current of the Christ being in some way a special current. It's not simply cut and dry electromagnetic dynamics. It's um, the the Christ is very unique and ties everything together really well. But anyway, the whole point is that this current produces fields that serve the function of keeping um, all of the threeness of uh, a person's spirit on facing towards God, um, on the Godward side, attracted to the monopole, in the light, if you will. So compare that to when you're on meth. It's largely the opposite. You basically kink the channel of the flow of the Christ current really hard, and temporarily stop it, and in the vacuum left behind, you set up a current going in the other direction. So an antichristward current. And this creates magnetic fields um, that send those little flaps and fluttery lullaby things away from God. So just by by being uh, of like polarity, magnetically, like charges repulse. So it just occurred to me this fits right in with my the concept of sovereignty that I've identified as being so important to the dark, and to yeah, that's good enough for now to just say to the dark, because so like you think of, if you give your soul like charge onto as that of the creator, that is the sin of pride. That's the trying to be God. And what happens is that it, um, again, is repulsed by the monad. But whereas there was, it, it went, the normal case, all the little flags are pointing straight, directly at the monad, and they're stable. They're not moving. They're lined up. And at rest. But it couldn't be differenter for the ones participating in darkness, because they're not attracted. There's nothing to attract them or to guide them in anything straight. It's just nothing but. It's basically they're pointing in any direction but at God, but there's infinitely many directions that aren't towards God that they can point in. And so that's picturing that, it brings out that character of darkness, of being roiling, swirling, constantly not at rest, always billowing and uh, you know uh, chaotic, velvety. But so there you go. That's another definition of darkness. Um, that's all I gotta say. Peace.